We live in idiocracy. If you know anything about Idiocracy, it was a movie back in 2006 that um, it was basically, I don't want to blow anything out, a future where humanity just got dumber. And I mean, by dumber, yes, dumb. Like, like it's, you can't even imagine how dumb. So obviously, we're not there yet, but it feels like we're heading that way. Some of the correlations to this movie to what is sort of happening. It's like small correlations, but it's almost like they're hyperbolic in the movie, but realistically, you can kind of see that they could get there. And let's be real, with social media now, and just people plugged into their iPhones and their face just attached to that. We're not really critically thinking much anymore. We're kind of being told what the thought to think. We're we're getting in echo chambers and that kind of stuff. So really, the whole using your brain for anything is not really there. Uh, I'm not really. I'm not even. I don't know if I should even bother reading this article. This article's kind of dumb. This is Collider. I don't even know who they are, but I'll read a little bit. All right. So this early 2000s box office bomb, they called it a bomb because it did actually bomb the box office, which is funny. Feels weirdly prophetic now. Okay. So Mike Judge. So Mike Judge is the guy who made Beavis and Butthead. If you know who Beavis and Butthead were, um, Office Space. Funny guy, but weird funny. Like Beavis and Butthead was kind of a weird little comic or a little uh, animated thing. I'd miss as far as funny, but so Mike Judge is an astute social critic who has shown his ability to introduce or induce audience laughter while still making a larger point about his worldview. While Office Space is one of the funniest films ever made, I agree it's funny. It's not the funniest movie ever made. It's also a hilarious satire of a dehumanizing nature of corporate management and the issues within the American work culture. Similarity, King of the Hill. Oh, I forgot. King of the Hill is him as well. Is a more insightful comedy a series about what middle America actually looks like than most dramatic projects about the same subject. While his high concept science fiction film Idiocracy was considered to be nothing but a standard R-rated comedy upon its initial theatrical release in 2006, the film has been reclaimed as a prophetic, almost terrifying examination of an anti-intellectualism, capitalism, consumerism, and political campaigning. Idiocracy plays a lot differently in the wake of the President Trump administration, the growing threat of global warming and the COVID-19 crisis. So they're trying to say there was Terry Crews plays president um, in this movie, and they're kind of trying you know to correlate him with Trump. It's dumb. That's dumb. I've heard that before. It's the idea that he was you know, like an entertainer or that kind of thing, and Trump was kind of there. That's where they're just correlating that from. So I don't agree with that. So it says Idiocracy follows United States Army Libertarian Joe Bowers, Luke Wilson, a man that most would simply describe as average. Bowers doesn't just represent the typical American worker. He's been scientifically determined by the military to literally be the most average person in the world. Due to this examination, Joe is dispatched on a high priority hibernation experiment, which he is frozen intact to examine what the future might look like. Unfortunately, the world has only gotten less intelligent in the wake of Joe's departure, and the experiment is ultimately forgotten about by a world that has abandoned scientific reason and logic. Joe wakes up 500 years after his lifetime to find a strange dystopia where society has severely declined and he is literally the smartest man in the world. It's a creative comedic premise from Judge, but the world he imagines 2505 to be is one that is the world is rapidly approaching, which I agree. Like I said, it's just I don't want to say anything about the movie. It's funny, so you should go watch it. But it's kind of a sad it's kind of a sad glimpse on where we're going. Realistically, at this point now, if you spend any time online or you read comments um on videos and things like that, like obviously I do, I have to. Um you'll see how dumb people are for the most part. I think the average IQ is 85 or was 85 in North America anyway. I'm sure it's lower now. and I think it's getting lower. And as I've said, I think it's due to iPhones and echo chambers and you know media just telling us what to think. And now that we're trying to expand our mind and think outside of the narratives we're being told, we're basically called conspiracy theorists. And you know it's it's a weird place we're living in right now. And I'm old enough to have been without the internet, or or pre-internet, pre-social media, all that kind of stuff. So I see the difference between the two. And I don't think we're very far off this movie. Watch the movie. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think we're on our way there? Do we think we're fast tracked? I mean, this is 500 years in the future, but I don't think it's going to take that long to get to where this movie says we're at.